The Jezebel curse, when generational spirits pass down control. Antonella sat in the dimly lit living room of her grandmother's old house, flipping through a dusty photo album. The faces staring back at her were familiar: her mother, her grandmother, her aunts. But as she looked closer, she noticed something unsettling. The same cold, calculating gaze stared back at her from every generation. It was as if the same spirit had been passed down, weaving its way through her family like a dark thread. Her grandmother had been a force to be reckoned with, charismatic, controlling, and fiercely manipulative. Antonella's mother was no different, using guilt and charm to bend everyone to her will. And now, Antonella was starting to see the same patterns in herself. The curse of control. Antonella had always known her family was different. Growing up, she watched her mother manipulate her father with ease, using tears one moment and rage the next to get what she wanted. Her grandmother had been the same, ruling the family with an iron fist and a sweet smile. But it wasn't until Antonella found herself doing the same thing to her own partner that she realized the truth. She had become what she feared most: a manipulator, a controller, a modern-day Jezebel, the generational spirit. Antonella began to research her family history, digging through old letters and diaries. What she found was chilling. Every generation of women in her family had been ruled by the same spirit, a spirit of manipulation, control, and chaos. Her great-grandmother had used her beauty to trap men, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives. Her grandmother had used her charm to climb the social ladder, stepping on anyone who got in her way. And her mother had used guilt and emotional manipulation to keep her family under her thumb. Now, the spirit had its sights set on Antonella. Breaking the cycle. Antonella knew she had to break the cycle. She couldn't let the curse continue, couldn't let the spirit control her life the way it had controlled the lives of the women before her. She sought help from a spiritual counselor, who explained that the Jezebel spirit was a generational curse, passed down through the bloodline. It thrived on manipulation, control, and chaos, feeding off the pain and suffering of its victims. Antonella began to pray, to fast, and to renounce the spirit's hold over her life. It wasn't easy. The spirit fought back, using every trick in its arsenal to keep her trapped. But Antonella was determined. She refused to let the curse continue. The aftermath. Now, sitting in her grandmother's old house, Antonella felt a mix of emotions: relief, anger, and sadness. She had broken the cycle, but the scars remained. The spirit had taken so much from her family: their peace, their relationships, their sense of self. But it hadn't taken their future. Antonella knew she had a long road ahead, but she also knew she was stronger now. She had faced the Jezebel spirit and survived. And though the memories still haunted her, she was no longer under its control.